And within Focus, I'll just find the love.
Whatever or whoever I am today, I attribute it to my time in Focus.
I was shaped in Focus to become the person that I have become.
The impact of Focus is felt.
We are Focus. It's us.
50 years. Wow.
Great stories often start from small and humble beginnings. The story of Focus Kenya can be compared to a small mustard seed that has grown to be the biggest student movement, developing reputable leaders in Kenya and the world. From 1956, when the Royal Technical College, now University of Nairobi, opened its doors to students, the very first Christian Union was formed in 1957, raising pioneer generation of graduates who laid a strong foundation of student work in East Africa.
Frankly, we had no idea where we are going to go. But the desire was to help students, Christian students, in the university and later in other colleges, to grow in maturity so that they themselves were real disciples of Christ and were able to witness to other students and bring them to Christ so that the ministry will grow in that way.
But we were very few people who knew the Lord that time, who were in campus. After all, the University of Nairobi then had only about 500 students total. Now, it's not the thousands that we have now. That time we had students from all over East Africa, and all students were resident. So it was a very good atmosphere for spreading the gospel through, of course, from the Christian Union meetings, then from the Bible studies that we organized in the halls of residence.
Associates were so involved in the sense that those days we needed to show people that Christianity works beyond campus. And especially those who got married, they needed to invite the students to see what is life as a Christian married family.
Focus Kenya has been privileged to have a dedicated team of associates, staff, and students who have constantly embraced innovation to cater to the needs of the students. It is through these innovative ideas that all Focus structures and programs have come into existence. While some of these programs faced initial challenges and at times resistance, they have now become indispensable pillars in the student ministry.
One of the things that thrills me is to see, for example, we started a Bible study ministry and a book selling ministry. Later on, we started gathering Bible study materials, writing them. And then, during my time, we invited David Ivaska. He was loaned to us by the InterVarsity US. And David's biggest strength was Bible study. He took it to a new level.
When it came to discipleship, that's when we started the Ezra Conference. Now, Ezra then was a Bible study conference, we used to call it. And in 1989, which was the first of those conferences, Ezra conferences, it is as a result of that conference that the student leaders who are there formed Best P. In missions, that's when commission conventions were born. And the first convention happened that December of 1988. So the first commission that was held in JKUAT was going to attract 1,200 people. And it was like, are you serious? Can you pull off something like that?
The development of leaders got a major boost when STEM program was begun. It looked fragile because of the mode of funding it, but it has survived now almost for 30 years. And it has been adopted by many, not only in this country, but beyond this country.
The statement of purpose, these days we talk about the reaching students, changing nations. Yeah. But earlier on the slogan for Focus was preparing God's people for works of service.
That was the slogan.
Ephesians 4:12.
Hey.
Yeah, and so when we were thinking about what number to get for pay bill, it was like, wow, actually, we can actually do Ephesians 4:12. Preparing God's people for works of service. And so that's how 412 came about, and it's easy to remember, and it has something to do with our history and with our existence as a ministry.
You could talk about Hesabika. We have the first retreat in 2015. That vision I shared, that conviction about Christians engaged a little more, was not just me. There were other people. And in that retreat, I find this team of people, Dr. Joshua Wadhanga and a group who are also, it's like God was speaking and saying, hey, we can do something more. So one thing leads to the other, and it was clear. So here was convergence, and then in 2016 we have this conference in KU that becomes bigger than we imagined, and then Hesabika was then born.
Despite the challenges and significant turning points in our 50 years journey, one thing remained constant: our unwavering commitment to our core values. We have strived to stay faithful to scriptures, with integrity serving as our guiding principle.
When we were in Ufungamano House, those days we didn't have M-Pesa, we didn't have this money transfer system. So the associates who were giving money, they had to literally come to the office to bring money, you know? And some of them would come like they are working outside of Nairobi, Mombasa, in Nyeri, in Kisumu, wherever, and they happen to be traveling to Nairobi. They walk all the way to Fungamano House on a Sunday or on a Saturday. They find the office is closed, and they put their money cash in an envelope, slipping it under the door. And in the morning, who comes first? Is the cleaner, you know? They open the door, they find these envelopes on the floor, they just gather them, put them on the desk, and when the accountant comes, registers them, and because we receipted all the monies, we sent receipts to all the associates, and not one person complained that they gave money and never got receipt. So it was something that helped, at least helped me up to this day, to continue to have that level of integrity in whichever place I find myself.
And I still remember we had a cabinet near the door with one of these metallic box where money would be put. And inside it, there would be a small notebook. So if I was going to Kagumu, I would take the key, open that metallic box, and count the money that I would need, and record that I've taken this money going to Kagumu, close the box and put it there. And I would go to Kagumu, do what I needed to do, collect my receipts for traveling around, whatever. Sometimes associates there would give me money, bring it back, put it in the box, record. So what that did for us was that it really taught us integrity when it comes to finances. we could be trusted with money. We were trained to be trusted with money. And a person who passed through that generation, they would not have problem with money anywhere they would work.
A united team of dedicated individuals has ensured that the movement remains centered around the needs of the students. The solid foundation laid by our predecessors has paved the way for subsequent generations to carefully carry forward and preserve our rich heritage.
Focus has had a practice, a tradition, right from the initial years to keep the students at the center. And that this ministry is about students, and also the keenness to, for staff to train the students to be able to do. So staff are enablers. The staff have not taken over executively the work of students. The staff have been there enabling the students to be who they are and to do what God has called them to do on campus.
I remember when one volunteer came to Focus and asked me, what keeps you here with this kind of money? Because it is cash. But I would say, in short, it's commitment to the work.
That kind of commitment, I'm yet to find it in many other places.
When we were organizing Commission 2000, again it was held in KU, the night before registration, or the eve of the commission beginning, I remember all of us we were in the Kasarani office, putting things in order, packing things so that tomorrow morning we'll just head to KU. And so things to do with teamwork started those times, because when it came to AGMs, major conferences, people used to leave whatever they are doing on their desks, and we pulled together to make sure that the event has gone on well.
Focus Kenya has successfully raised transformative leaders from colleges and universities through solid leadership development programs that see more than 4,000 students leaders trained annually. These value-based and ethical leaders end up being teachers, professors, businessmen, engineers, administrators, politicians, medical personnel, pastors, bishops and missionaries, who end up influencing national, continental, and global stages through their public and hidden actions. These initiatives make Focus Kenya a key leadership development organization in Kenya.
I hear employers now saying, if you get a Focus guy, a person who has worked with Focus, you will know the difference. In terms of character formation, character shaping, that was extremely important. Integrity, work ethics, a work ethic where you were never, no one supervised you, no one ran after you. You made your program and you fulfilled that program that you made, and you did it to the extent that you were willing to sacrifice.
I think Focus has continued to hold an alternative opinion or view of Christianity to some prevailing and sometimes cultic tendencies that have come into this country, and has been the place where the storm is held.
Sound doctrine, and then that doctrine, it is very difficult to get heresy in the church, because the people you get to speak are usually seasoned and well-versed and experienced. Maybe they're also professionals in that field, so that they bring the message in a way that you relate and a message that is applicable to you.
Also, Focus gives us the privilege of finding authenticity in Christianity. Starting from the office staff, coming out to the associates and the students, gives us an opportunity to see authenticity in Christianity. No exaggerations on issues, just being a Christian.
Focus has brought, has developed within the CU and the church a Bible-based Christianity. A Christianity of the heart, of the spirit, but also a Christianity of the mind.
Focus has made a very great contribution in shaping of leadership. Someone would almost think that it was a conspiracy. It wasn't a conspiracy. We never knew that that's how things would be. But you begin to think of most of the major Christian organizations in the country. They are led by Focus people.
Trying to imagine if Focus is not there and every CU is trying to look for its own way of teaching and doing things separately. So to realize that to find a Christian union that meets the needs of a student, it would be difficult really. But now you see with Focus trying to synchronize things and making it have a certain form of order, it's just on another level. So I can't imagine its absence really.
There was this program every Saturday, which later on shifted to Monday. It was a leadership program, and the guest host was Bishop David Oginde, and this to share a lot about leadership. You know, he's quite a leadership guru, and he knows a lot of stuff about leadership throughout his experience in life. And I used to admire that so much. The way he's so eloquent, the way he's so well versed and has so much knowledge about leadership generally. And when I came to campus, I got to know leadership. I mean, David Oginde is a very strong associate of Focus, and is one of the great founders of Focus. And so I was really inspired. And coming to campus, I also got to hear of other great leaders other than just David Oginde. And I was always amazed, and I said, I want to be like them.
And when you hear now, somebody has become, a student has become somebody up there, you feel kind of feel fulfilled.
For the past 50 years, our student movement has made a profound impact. We have spent 5 decades reaching out to students and making a difference in nations all over the world. As we reflect on our journey, we are now faced with an exciting challenge of what lies ahead.
A lot has changed in campus, and that has impact on the student and the CU. In our days, all students were resident, so we all used to be in campus. So when you talk about Bible study, it would be very easy because students are just coming from hostels within, and it becomes very easy to organize. Now with majority of the students being off campus, it presents a challenge.
I think that as Focus goes into the future, I hope that they will continue to not only graduate people out into the marketplace, but actually try to change the institution of higher learning itself through students, through Focus people returning to be staff, to be faculty, to be administrators in the academic world. And as they do that, they will become salt and light even more broadly in society.
The most important mission that Focus has is preparing students to impact every aspect of society.
The story of Focus Kenya is actually the story of God through Focus. God has been gracious to us. He has been faithful. He has helped us to do ministry since 1973. We are grateful for many who gave their lives, who gave their time, who gave their energies to make Focus to be what it is today. We thank you all. And as we celebrate 50 years, we are looking ahead. We know there is so much work ahead of us to continue serving students, reaching students, and changing nations. And we know by faith, the Lord who was with us in the last 50 years, He is still with us. He will enable us to be able to conquer even many more mountains ahead of us. We invite all of you to join us in supporting Focus, in being part of this ministry, so that we can reach the students in this country, because once you reach them in this country, you're reaching the world.
From its humble beginnings, with just one Christian union, a small group of staff, and a handful of graduates, Focus has evolved into a thriving movement, working with over 215 Christian unions, employing over 100 staff members, and reaching a staggering 64,000 Christian students and 30,000 graduates. Would you like to be part of the journey ahead? All contribution counts. Join us today through prayer, direct ministry, or through financial support.
Happy 50th anniversary of Focus.
I wish you another 50 years.
We are celebrating 50 years of reaching students and changing nations.